Hey everyone, sorry I couldn't be here today, but we've got this quick video to watch. It's going to be 5 or 6 minutes long, and then you can get started on the lab, which you're going to work through today. Today is a work day. You have to work as if I'm here based on the stuff you learned during this lecture. Make sure that you do that because you'll be behind if you don't do anything today, because I'm going to start back on Tuesday as if I had been here today based on the fact that you're watching this video now. First things first, we need a new set of groups. So here, take a look at your last name, find your last name, and look at the number that is associated with the last name. That is your new kit number. And like you're obviously not going to know the last name of your partner, but that's fine. All of you look at the number. Are you looking at the number? Look at the number. Not just your name, the number. Look at the number. Do you know the number now? Okay, I'm moving on. Make sure you know the number. Here it goes. Okay, someone go pause this video. No, seriously, have a person stand up in this room and go pause this video so you can see this map. Okay, and after you pause the video, make sure that everybody is seated and has a kit before you go on. Are you doing that? Someone go pause the video. Okay, I'm assuming that I'm paused. Okay, we should now all be sitting and ready to go with new partners, new locations, etc. All right, today we need to talk about defining functions. In this slide you see a block that should look a little bit strange to you. We have our normal void setup, which initiates the serial monitor. We have void loop, which has nothing in it. And then we have void Gibson, which is like, what the heck is that? Void Gibson is a new function that we have defined in the scope of this particular program. It will do whatever I tell it to do every time I call Gibson, like you'll see here. If you look at this, what does Gibson do? Gibson prints the serial line, prints the line Gibson to the serial monitor, and I'll show you how to use that function in the next slide here. In this code block, we have me calling Gibson twice in void setup. I'll indicate it right here. I'm circling it with my mouse. I have called the function Gibson 2 times in setup. And so it's going to initiate the serial monitor and then immediately just run the function Gibson two times. And you can see over here in the serial monitor it has printed the word Gibson twice. This is kind of a useless program because all it does is do a one-line thing, which it could have just done by writing that one line of code. But you can maybe see how this could be useful. Like imagine in your timers that you did before, like there was that block of code, maybe 15 lines long, where you turned the light red after the button was pushed, then delayed for a random amount of time, turned the light green, started a timer, waited until the button was unpushed, and then ended the timer, and then reported the time. Like that happened like so many times, and a lot of you in your really cool reaction timer programs had to write that block of code like 6 times for different levels and different scenes and all that stuff. And it would have been really nice if you could have just typed in one line of code that said, do the button thing, and then it immediately just runs that 15 lines of code without you having to type it every time. Well, this is that. So we can have functions that run a little subroutine of 15 or 20 or 100 lines of code with a single line queue, and you can just do it as many times as you want anywhere that you would like to have that done. So this is a really, really useful way of doing this. So I'm going to have you just do a very short, we're talking like 1 day, maybe 2 days, maybe a little bit of time Tuesday if you need it, to finish up this lab before we start the next one, where you're just going to write a few functions and learn how functions are used. To do that, there is a lab sheet on the front table. It's called the Functions Lab. Grab that lab sheet and work through the 4 milestones. You'll notice that above the 4 milestones is a block of text, and it's one that I wrote for you so that you could follow the instructions, which a lot of you did not do last time. This time you really need to do it, especially since I'm not here. So please make sure that you read those instructions. They tell you what page to go to on the book to read up on functions and how they work, which again you really need to do because I'm not here to help you if you don't know how to do it. So you need to go study those pages. It's 118 to 123 or something like that, but it tells you right there you need to go read all of those pages. That paragraph will also tell you that these pages do not specifically tell you how to accomplish all the milestones. They're going to give you a couple of basic tools, and then you're going to have to use those tools to write these 4 programs. I will come and check them off on Tuesday. The sub will not be doing any sign-offs. Newman won't be doing any sign-offs. Just complete as many of them as you can, and I'll run through quick at the beginning of class on Tuesday to get that all done. Just a reminder, you do need to be working through this class period with your partner, because I'm going to be running checks on Tuesday and then starting a new lab on that day. So do as much as you can. Also, if you do get confused or lost, you will have enough time to do a little makeup before you start the next lab with the same partner. So don't freak out. Do the best you can. Do as much as you can, and I will hopefully see you on Tuesday.